Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. UFC Fight Night on ESPN. This time they're going to Louisville, Kentucky, the Bluegrass State. That's where they have the Kentucky Derby. They love horses. The grass is blue, I think. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? But the main event, we're here to break that down. Jared Cannonier, the Killer Gorilla, versus Nassourdine Imavov, the Russian sniper, who is based out of France. And Jared Cannonier, he's American. So the matchup, two middleweight contenders. Jared Cannonier, a little bit more higher in the rankings compared to Imavov. So this is more of an opportunity for Imavov to jump up in the rankings and beat a former title challenger in Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier basically fighting for his position in the rankings, kind of similar to how Sean Strickland fought Paulo Costa. These are kind of like similar style of match, not like fighting styles, but what's involved in the fight, right? This is what it is. So what are your initial thoughts on the matchup of Cannonier versus Imavov?
Well, I think Cannonier's getting on, isn't he? He's 40 years old. You ask yourself what he's fighting for at this stage and how many fights he's got left. Imanov? Imavov. He's obviously younger, coming through. Different fight styles. I think Cannonier's obviously pressure-based, grappling. He's going to be in his face, but you know he's gonna have to deal with teeps, front kicks, hands. So it's just whether Cannonier can get close enough, get the grapple exchanges going. It'll definitely be interesting.
You make a good point, man. He's 40 years old. I didn't even I saw it, but I didn't really think about it too much. And Imavov is 28, 40 years old. What is he fighting for? Is he fighting for money? Is he fighting to fight for the title again? I think he does. I've seen an interview. He does want to fight for the title again, but this is more, I think, of him trying to stay active and getting paid, man, because you need to get paid. You don't fight, you don't get paid. Yeah. So let's go into the Killer Gorilla's history. Let's jump into it.
He's got a good record. He's got a good CV. Lost to Izzy on point. He took Izzy to points, which is obviously quite impressive on its own. Got fighters like Vittori, Strickland, Bronson, Gastelum, Silva. Like, these are massive names in the game. So yeah, I don't know. It does go back to like what now? Like, why would he even take this fight?
Paycheck.
Yeah, but
and the UFC probably offered him and said, like, you know, take this one, or if you don't take this one, the next one will be even more fucked up.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But to be honest, like, I think it's an interesting matchup, like I say. Yeah, a perfect matchup. Two different styles. One's got to close the distance. One's got to keep the distance. I'm actually quite excited about it.
Yeah, so you got Jared Cannonier fighting out of MMA Lab in Arizona, a great team. 9 knockouts wins, 2 knockout losses, 3 submission wins. So he does have a few submissions and 5 decision wins and 4 decision losses. 10-6 total in the UFC, 16 fights with the organization. His only losses, like you mentioned, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, Dominic Reyes, and Jan Blachowicz, and Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
And Sean Jordan. Man, this guy, he's been in the UFC for a long time, dude, since 2015. And he's like probably the most successful fighter out of Alaska Fighting Championship, which a lot of people talk shit about Alaska Fighting Championship. But
big, massive names everywhere. Like,
yeah.
The biggest.
Beat Anderson Silva. Like, that's just...
Yeah, that on its own.
Yeah, you should have retired after that.
Points.
You should have retired after that. Anderson Silva.
Yeah, for sure.
No. But yeah, man, he's a big dude, right? But he does have a lot of decisions.
Yes. But also, he's big... And he's fought at an upper weight class as well.
Heavyweight as well.
Yes. Imavov.
Yeah.
He's fought at lower weight classes.
Okay.
So there's actually going to be there's going to be a big discrepancy in the actual weight on the night. I wonder how much of a part that's going to play, but I suppose we're going to have to wait and see.
What about the grappling? You think, because Jared Cannonier, it's not like he can't grapple.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So, like, do you think there's going to be a big difference in either skill or strength?
I think so. I think, yeah, weight.
Okay.
You know what they used to say about Khabib?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're the same weight, but like he's just different. He's just heavier. I think that's going to play a part. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I think it's going to be important to stay away from Cannonier.
Yeah,
He
because he
uses the
does have
front,
power.
yeah, the front teep kick. He loves using that one. He's still got heavy hands.
Mm.
Both got good hands. But yeah, one's going to try and close the distance. One's going to try and maintain it, and it's about who can be disciplined enough to carry out their game plan, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder, like, what kind of game plan there is, because I believe that these guys are going to have more of a striking roadmap
Mm-hmm.
for each other,
Mm-hmm.
especially Jared Cannonier. He can take you down, but he'd rather just try to punch your face in,
Yeah.
like he did against Strickland. Because a lot of people thought he lost against Strickland, a split decision fight.
Yeah.
He clearly beat Vittori. You know what I mean? He beat Gastelum, who's probably a 170 or fighting at 185. So was, Sean Strickland was at 170.
It's a dirty boxing style as well he's got, isn't it?
Yeah,
He's like
yeah.
in your face.
But one thing he has an advantage compared to like a Strickland is just much longer. Like his long arms are much longer, I believe, right?
Yeah.
But who knows, man? Who knows? Like,
He's another freak of nature, like we were saying about Romero and Paulo Costa. He's one of them. He's just built
explosive.
different.
Yeah. When you look at Nassourdine, 13-4 record, he's only 28 years old, so he's like still developing as a fighter. Born in Dagestan, so he's a Dagestani in France. 5 knockout wins, 4 submission wins, 1 submission loss, decisions, 4 wins, 3 losses, 5-2 in the UFC. Victories over Roman Dolezay, Joaquin Buckley, Emin Shabazian, Ian Heinisch, but he does have losses against Phil Hawes, Sean Strickland, and a no contest versus Chris Curtis, which was that headbutt thing. I don't think he's like, to be honest with you, I don't like Nasruddin hasn't had like a performance where you're just like, yo, like he's a top contender. He hasn't had that yet. I haven't seen that from him.
I think maybe this is what this is. This is that, Cannonier, obviously he's 40 years old. He's you could say he's on his way out. How many fights has he got left in him? So they're using this as Cannonier's fight for, maybe money or whatever. And Imavov? They're using this for, to give him a little kickstart. Let's show everyone how good we are. And yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Make a name for yourself.
I think that's what it is. It is that opportunity because Cannonier is 40, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you notice thing about champions at 40 years old, number one, they don't last that long. And number two, the UFC really doesn't push them. If they do become, like when Glover became champion, like they didn't really push Glover. They're just like, oh yeah, he's a champion. He's 40.
Well, there's no need, is there?
Yeah, there isn't. Like how much?
How long? How much are you going to get out of them for how long?
Exactly.
Even Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
See, if you're not pushing Nick Diaz, you're not pushing no one.
Nobody. So I'm gonna say that Cannonier goes in here and wins the decision.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen, man. I just think Cannonier is better, and he's also he doesn't have to fly across the world to fight. He's gonna fly from Arizona to Las Vegas, which is like, I think it's like a 6-hour drive. So the flight must be way shorter. Yeah, I think they have a good game plan. Like MMA Lab, John Crouch, a phenomenal coach, right? He's one of the Gracie lineage, right, from back in the day. Very experienced. He's coached champions on top of champions, right? I think they'll have a good game plan. They'll execute it. Jared seems like a guy that's very good at executing his game plans, and I think he does that too. Imavov's gonna have his moments, but I feel like Imavov is just not there yet, and Cannonier is just good enough, and just not old enough to win.
I agree. It makes me wonder, to be honest. Like we were just saying, it makes me wonder. Maybe it's a mistake, Imavov even taking this fight. Because he needs to be getting impressive wins under his belt, and I just don't think Cannonier is the right decision for that at 29 years old, 28 years old, however old he is. I think he's 29. But yeah, right now, Cannonier, an absolute monster. Could be a mistake. Could be a mistake.
Possibly.
But I agree. I'd say Cannonier takes this fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with decision, even though nobody wants a decision, but possibly a late finish. You know, either way.
Yeah.
I think these dudes are gonna beat each other up.
The pressure will be too much.
Yeah.
But again, Cannonier's naturally heavy. Maybe he's going to run out of steam.
True.
You don't know. But I mean, that's the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why we watch.
Here we go. If Imavov comes out and he dusts Cannonier, if he goes in there and just does a phenomenal job, then we eat our words, and then he proves that he is a top 5 fighter because he beat a guy in the top 5 basically. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what we want to see. That's why we watch. So hopefully.